Hey, welcome to another episode of Going Fishing. I'm not your host tonight. Mike's your host tonight, but he went fishing. He fell out of his kayak, and he's not here yet. So he's on his way, but he's actually making up some rigs tonight to show you. Last week we had John Coverly on, and he had talked about some of his rubber worms that he's selling, like some of his soft baits, and we were talking about different setups, and people were asking about different setups we would do. So we're going to do that. Mike really did not fall in his kayak and fall in the water, but he is actually rigging everything up to show you. Um, so if John Coverly's listening, just wanted to let you know that he doesn't have that Texas rig hooked up because he's been hooking it up for 10 minutes now. So I hooked up a Ned rig to show you, and some different things, but wasn't expecting to start the show like this. But Mike will be with us here shortly. Um, but anyway, a little recap from last week. Don had a good weekend down at Henlopen Bait and Tackle in Lewis. Uh, I actually had one of my friends actually message me today. He wants to purchase some stuff from John. So, anytime you're looking to purchase some things, let us know. Tonight's tonight's drink we're doing, our bourbon tonight, is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select tonight. So that's the bourbon for the night. So if we start getting a little crazy, we'll let you know. Hey, Mike just got out of his kayak. He just got out of his swimsuit, so I'm going to put it over to him. Turn your microphone on, Mike. You need your mic. Mike, Mike, you need your mic. Mike.
I got, yep, I'm good. Let me get took up.
I'm going to try this Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select. There you go. Cheers. Hey, cheers, everyone.
That is good.
That's real good. That's real good.
Got a nice nose. Anyway, welcome all to the show. Sorry about that. Um, was trying to rig real quick and wasn't working. So first of all, Ray and I went out fishing last Friday and we skunked.
It skunked. It was
Skunked.
tough conditions. Very tough conditions.
Very tough conditions. Ray took off. I already had off and for spring break, and we were going to go fishing come hell or high water. So we end up going to the Octorara in Pennsylvania, and we get there, and the water looked like chocolate milk. Um, we got out on the water. First of all, it was a whole thing in the beginning because I get a call. I was supposed to be at Ray's house at 6 o'clock, and I get a call at 6:20. Says I'm on my way. Now we were taking two different vehicles anyway to bring the kayaks, but apparently my phone did one of its updates and whatever. Didn't get out there, threw my clothes on, jumped in the car, met him. I wasn't that bad considering. And then we didn't catch anything. We could see I had the fish finder on, we could see the water was 48 degrees. Looked like chocolate milk from all around. And it was just rough fishing. We could see down there. They weren't fighting. I mean, you guys know we were going from Bass. Bass got a center line, and so their center line is how they sense things. Line that runs down the middle of their body that tells them when bait's near. They are predators, so they're mostly sight. Going to bring us to something that we'll talk about later. Scenting bait.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Absolutely.
So when I went on Friday, I got there before Mike. I was probably about 45, half hour, 45 minutes before Mike got there. Uh, the guy at the bait shop told me, Ray, use deep diving crankbaits, 12 to 16 foot, throw them along all the logs. I didn't listen to the guy. Guys were coming in. People were actually catching fish using deep diving crankbaits. So sometimes when you're bait and tackle, people tell you you think they're lying to you. Sometimes they're telling you the truth, and you just suck it up. I should have really just listened. I had deep diving crankbaits. I am more of a crankbait person anyway. Just wasn't. I just didn't follow the rules.
And my problem is I don't know crankbaits happens. I don't when the water looks like chocolate milk like that. I don't know how deep it's running out. That's to I wasn't fishing confidently, but I threw different rigs at them, Texas rigs. Texas rigs cover a whole lot of area. Um, I mean, the depth, you let it drop to the bottom, pull it up, so you're covering anywhere from parts of that you fish 20 feet. I mean, right off the bank, it'll drop down to 8. But nothing.
There are some deep banks in it.
There's some deep ass banks.
Like literally, we're sitting. I'm talking 8, 10 foot from the bank, and there was spots where we were in 30, 31 foot of water.
But usually it's crystal clear.
Yeah, it just
So
wasn't clear this time.
I felt I wasn't I didn't feel confident about where I was throwing it. So then I went out yesterday on one of the local ponds and got out there, 75 air temperature. I was getting almost 60 times in the shallows. And so I decided to fish shallows. Kind of a weird day. Caught 2 crappie, topwater, and medium bass. I tried different areas, different lures. Um, saw a lot of blow ups, but by blow ups I mean just fish hitting top water, making a big splash. But I didn't get anything big. But I was out on the water. It was an absolutely gorgeous evening, so I can't complain. Anyway, excuse me. First of all, we're going to talk about some rigs, just because we had mentioned thrown at you Ned rig. Um, we talked about Texas rigs. I was using a crappie rig yesterday. Um, so we're going to show you some of this. I got the wacky rig. Wacky rig is this one of the simplest. Tie or knot. We'll do knots later. I'm not doing knots now because that's too much intricate stuff. Take one of these worms like this and just hook it through the middle with what size do you usually? Number one?
I usually shoot for 2 aught.
Is it
Oh,
two? That's a 2/0.
that's what I usually use. That's the way. To be honest, with you, that's the way I usually fish a lot of my Senkos. Like I don't really do. I fish them, no weight, just a hook like that. Cast them out, let them slowly go down. Especially like when they're around timbers and stuff like that. Let it slowly just sink down into the nitty gritty. But that's how I'll fish them like that a lot right there. That's probably 70% of the way I fish them. But I usually don't really fish rubber worms until late, late July, August. Most time it's dead rigs, or for snakehead fishing, not fishing any rubber worms at all. Or nothing. So,
Well, and these will actually work great in the fall, but let it sink to the bottom, kind of jerk it up, and you can see it makes this kind of wacky movement in the water. Its advantage, if there's any structure down there, this is going to get snagged because you can see the hook is totally exposed. You heard us mention Texas rig. This one doesn't snag. Well, not as easily. Everything can get snagged. If you look, this one has the hook so that, I don't know if you can see, I just pulled the hook out. It's flush with the body and goes into the tip of the hook. So this one is,
hey, try to hold it over with the white right here. Give your hand. Like, Here, let me hold it. Let me
This
hold
one's kind of mostly weedless, and you use a sliding torpedo weight on it. Let it fall to the bottom, dig it up a few times, and reel. Let it sink back down to the bottom. Cover a lot of area, cover a lot of different depths with it. Let it sit for a second, because most of my strikes on a Texas rig will come either while it's sitting and a bass will inhale it, or when I first start lifting it.
it. Yeah.
So then what they're doing is they're following it when it goes up, and they see it sink down, and they'll follow it down. And sometimes they'll hit it right when it's still, but a lot of times, as soon as you put first movement, get that strike and you set the hook. So before
You want to show a Ned rig?
we're going to show the Ned rig.
Okay.
You're the Ned rig.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
Hmm, show that.
Okay. So this is a Ned rig. So it'll be kind of hard to show, but so it actually has a little flatter bottom weight. So when you tie it, it's actually sitting on the bottom, and it's just sit there and do one of them kind of numbers. And unlike the Texas rig, they smoke this baby. They just light it up.
Oh, by the way, this is sign language. I'm saying he's number one because they smoke Texas rig. Ray just set in his ways because he's old.
Yeah, I like it. This is something I use within the Ned rig. And John, good night. Get to work at midnight, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Actually, I'll try to get a hold of you tomorrow about my buddy who wants some of them paddle tails. We need to get John to make these. These are Helgramites. I think that like use these for like little streams when we float down little tiny streams and stuff like that. Um, really cool. This is actually a dragonfly nymph. Uh, things are incredible for smallmouth. Um, Last year I used it. I actually caught two on it and just put it away and never used it again. But this year, definitely going to try to go out and use that again. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if I really want to see one of them in real. Well, I've seen them in real life, like real live ones, but they got a lot of legs on them, man. That's kind of goofy. But
Yeah, you
anyway,
don't like things that have that
I
are.
don't like anything that slithers. I'm okay with this stuff. Like I'm not afraid of spiders or nothing. I just don't like snakes. That's not a snake.
Will you put like a bloodworm
Oh yeah.
on the hook
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff?
Oh,
Okay, 'cause-
put an eel on the hook, even though them things are kind of nasty too. I mean, I'll put an eel,
okay, just
but
making sure.
I did it
Maybe
once. Everybody was catching stripers around me, putting eels on. I put my hand in the bucket, grabbed an eel, put a hook on it, throw it out, and had a striper. Was done.
I've seen guys that won't put on a mealworm because they got a little creepy leg.
I'm not worried about mealworms. I've used them a lot too. So it's
So what the hell was I just gonna say? I also used a crappie rig, and I'll show you that. Let me go grab it. It's the way I rig it is designed to cover ground. Usually you dig a crappie rig, and you're in a kayak or a boat, you can jig it right under the. But for me, I like to cast it and throw bobber up top and kind of jig it back in so it's floating under this bobber, and that way I give it a couple jerks, let it sit, kind of tease it in that area, and I can move the bobber to whatever depth I need based on weeds or where water temperature or the fish might be. And I have these baits, they're little tiny tadpole baits. See if I could do this without making a mess. So they look,
nice.
it's just a real, it's got a little whiptail on it, and when it's in the water, and it's just a regular jig head. Real simple, real effective, and real versatile. While we're on that, because I was out on the kayak yesterday, I'm gonna do a little thing about shout out, if you will. Because I have a 6 skill rod here that I use, and I've said it before, but this is the halfling rod. And if you look at the butt end, so this is a 6 skill halfling, 7 foot, medium heavy. And if you look on the butt of this rod, I'm going to get it on a white. It's kind of like a sawed-off shotgun as far as fishing rods go. The reel is the butt of the rod is real short. So if it's this time of year where we're at the Octorero and you're wearing a life jacket or whatever, it doesn't get in your way. It takes a little getting used to because of the balance. The balance is a little off, but it switch back and forth. I hate it going back to my regular rods. When, not normally, that's the regular rod, but when I have to wear a life jacket because of regulations, that takes a little bit out and it tends to get in the way. So yeah, I don't I totally recommend. There's other companies that make them. I just happen to like the 6 skill rods. Um, that was turned on to me by Frank and Jesse from Snakehead Outlaws. Their service has been incredible. They're really strong. That was turned on to me after I broke a few rods. None of the rods I broke were. You won't break an ugly stick. They're tough. These were just normal rods. I did break a pen that year. It was the rod that came with the Penn Battle 3000, which I was really disappointed because it didn't last long. Caught a snakehead, and it wasn't even that big. It just was a weird situation netting, and the rod broke. I still have it though. I always say I'm gonna fix it, but I'm
Yeah,
really probably not
I
gonna.
have I have a luge reel that I've had for 2 years, and I had it fixed and got it back, and it was doing the same exact thing. It wasn't. I don't think they ever fixed it. And then
Mm.
I tried to take it apart and tried to adjust it myself. It fell off my table, hit the ground, little bearings and everything came out of it, and now it doesn't turn at all. So I need somebody to rebuild it. It's probably going to get trashed, but sometimes you spend them money on some of them reels and they're just junk. I mean, I'm using. I think I have one there. I have an Eagle Claw reel I've had since I was 16 years old. I replaced the luge reel with that Eagle Claw reel again. Never let me down. The cheapest reel, $18 for a reel back. Actually, I think back in the day, I think I paid $15 for it, and it's actually outlasted a luge reel that I spent $80 on. So
I have a couple of those reels. I have a yes, probably any of my people that are older like me. I have a mono with the quick fire
I have
trigger
one.
on it
Yep, I have one too.
that I've had forever, and I have a quantum.
Last for
Last
last
and I have a quantum
one of them too.
on my one of my ultralights. It's the whole setup that I've had since I was 16. They, I mean, this thing's been. I've caught 3.5 pound pickerel on it because I used to bring it in the woods. So we'd ride our bikes out to this pond, then have to walk through stuff, and I'd bring an ultralight because just carry, face it backwards, walk through the tunnels. We weren't supposed to be. It was one of those restricted areas, so we'd go to the backside, so we'd have to walk through some heavy shit. And we get out on the rocks, but this that setup has been tough, and it's absolutely forms amazing. So you have, even though you upgrade, you have your
Oh
old
yeah.
reliable.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I keep all my old reels, and I've always bought ugly sticks separate and then a reel separate. So I've never actually bought like a combo with them or nothing like that. I do have a Shakespeare rod, the trout rod. It didn't have any came with a little reel on it. That reel still works too. It's a little Shakespeare reel, fantastic. I think I paid $30 for it, and it lasts. I mean, I just sometimes I'm just like I said, bought luge reels, thought they were gonna be good, and they were just bad. So I got it. I'm watching it. There's
So, along that line, I just got to tell you, I've told you guys before, I've started a fishing club at my school, and we're what they call a Title I school. So anyone wants to join, we have to make it available, even if they don't have gear and stuff. That was an obstacle I had. Found a guy that was selling a bunch of stuff, and I ended up buying 57 rod and reel combos, all spinning, for $120. I don't care who you are. Um, things were nothing special. There's a few Brownings in there. There's a couple ugly stick rods in there. A lot of old South Bends, Debco, but they're basically composed of 90% of it is what you buy if you went to Walmart looking for a rod and reel
something cheap.
Yep.
Yep.
And these things, a little grease, a little cleaning, are new line, phenomenal. So fishing's one of those things. You could be into it for 30 bucks, you could be into it for 100,000. It's like I compare often. I compare fishing to golf because you get a regular putter and you're fine. But once you get down and you want more precision, and you want more control, then you start looking at what the rod is, the length, casting area, spinning reel, or a casting reel, whether you want a light action, heavy action, heavy. So it gets really technical when you start getting into it. Incidentally, when I went out on the kayak, I was in a pond and I just happened to have the fish finder in my car. And I was like, well, it's so shallow. There's a very valuable tool, not to find the fish, but more to check water temperatures and whatnot. And that's what I was doing. I was riding around looking for water temperatures, but I was also took some time to map out the pond where the channels are because that's important.
Yeah. Did you see what I tagged you on Facebook? You been on since school today?
No,
Okay, so you have to go check it out. I tagged it. So the Louisiana Valley fly fishing club. I actually put on there, hey, you should have a challenge or competition. Maybe get your school, maybe try to work out something and have the kids go out and just fish with other kids. I think that with having like a kid group like that, me getting other schools into it, the more people you can get involved into the fishing sport.
I need to get them on spinning reels before we could go.
Yeah, well, they're fly fishing. These kids were fly fishing for
Yeah,
trout and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it was the fly fishing club. I was like,
that's a little bougie.
yeah, well, them kids are way ahead of me too because I'm not fly fishing. I fly fish and good, perfect. I'm good. Oh, this is easy. Go into the creeks where you have the trees behind you and you end up in every tree behind you. So my one buddy back in the day says, take me to a pond. I swear to God, there was one sticker bush along the whole entire pond right next to me. And my line was tied, and that sticker went, I cut it, done. I never used it again. But the fly fish, I actually sold the fly fishing rod to a guy. I would see along the trout streams. He actually collects them, and I was just like, look, I just bought this thing. It's brand new. It's not an expensive one or nothing like that. I said, I'm just done. You can have it. He took it from me, but he actually gave me money for it. He gave me back the money I paid for it. I used it 3 times. Or I just, I just don't have the patience.
There's something about fly fishing that really appeals to me. So I gotta say this, my Uncle Danny, he was one of the people that got me on fishing. Uncle Danny Lynch. He's a hunter gatherer. He loves being outside, and he lives in Gloucester, Mass. So he's in Draper territory, and he's out. He's got lobster license all the time, and he's saltwater and freshwater fly fishing. Hooked on it a little bit, and my goal is to get. I actually went out and bought flies for this. They look like mice. They're made out of deer hair, the little
Mm.
feather tail. I really want to get a snakehead, and I have a fly rod now that can handle it. I want to. That if y'all seen a river runs through it,
Oh
a
yeah,
guy out.
dude, that is a boring ass movie,
No, it
but
ain't.
but the
That's
fishing
a
scenes in it are great, man. It's great. It's a
that's
great.
a beautiful
I mean,
movie.
it's a good movie. I mean, no, it is. It's like my wife won't watch it with me. It's too slow. But I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. But with the one kid gambling, having to gamble and problem. But it's a great like this where they're fishing. Like, just want to go there and fish.
Just want to go.
I think
And
it takes
it
place in
shows.
it's in Montana. Didn't that take place in
Yeah.
Montana? I think it is. Yeah.
And, but it also it's kind of relatable because I saw it when I was younger. And at the end, they have this narrative with the old man, and he's trying to tie a rig up on his fly, and he's trying to tie the knot. And back in the day, that was no problem. Nowadays, I got these things because I can't see shit.
Have you seen the Facebook or I think it's on Facebook? I've seen it where it says in 2014 everything's crystal clear. It shows 2024 and everything's off. You know,
That's me.
it's a very true statement. It really
It
is.
is a very true statement, and your hands are a little shaky. That
And you're
sucks.
trying to run the line through the hole. You're trying. Yeah, nah, man.
That old sucks
It does.
as a fisherman because you can't see shit. It's a sport that you can do. On the topic of movies, if you ain't seen it, watch The Legend of Bagger Man. It's a golf movie, but it's also a fishing movie. Go into it thinking about fishing. It's without boring you all, it's very zen. It's very being there, you all done this. Well, I can't say you all have, but you ever been out on the pond or the lake? Feel it. You're like, ah, I'm gonna get a fish on this one. Just feeling it.
Yeah.
And you
When
get
I'm in
slammed.
when I'm in the zone,
That's what I'm talking
yeah, when I'm in the zone, I just sit there. It's like sometimes I'm fishing and I'm like, I gotta put myself in the zone, and all of a sudden, it's like one day we were in Indiana. We were visiting friends of my wife's, and this is 13, 14 years ago. And the guy takes me out. He was actually the sheriff of the county, the head sheriff or something. And we're sitting there, and he takes me to this pond. I ain't catching shit. I mean, I'm talking nothing. So I take me a little walk in the woods, put myself in the zone. I come out. I says, I'm fine. This lure on. First cast. Knew I was going. As soon as I came out, like
You know it.
I
You
looked up.
didn't
I
do it.
looked up. I says, "That's I'll catch a fish in the first next three casts." And he just looked at me. He's like, "Oh, you think so?" I'm like, "Yep." Boom. First cast. Wham. Largemouth. I think I ended up catching like 10, 11, largemouths that day out of the pond, and it was just putting yourself in that place to do that. So,
It's
hey, what's up, Sam?
it's like it's called being present.
Yeah, being one with fish.
Well, you saw the thing I posted, and you guys might have seen it about that how the first cast makes everything. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That let everything go, and you're on the water,
Like I used to
and you
fish,
hear
man.
the sounds, and you can see the ripples, and all of a sudden the rod's like an extension of your arm,
Yep.
and you watching your bait, and you're like, yeah, that looks like a now
Yeah.
the way I'm, and I know, and I'm
You were
like,
a fish, you would eat it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and and I'm surprised how often that happens, and I'm like, I
Yep.
knew I was going to catch a fish. Everything was right. That's what. So check it out, The Legend of Bagger Vance. It's got Will Smith in it. It's a great movie either way. But when you look at it, when you watch it, in the back of your mind, click how this relates to fishing because it really, truly relates.
Yeah. But
So
but but also like when I used to fish bass tournaments, you're out fishing bass tournaments, you have 6 to 8 hours to fish a tournament. And it took me years after I got out of fishing tournaments that I'm out there stressed the freak out, trying to catch every damn fish and trying to catch a fish. You just want to have a fish in the live well. You just want to get one damn fish in the live well, then it'll get easier. But you're out there and you're fishing your ass off, getting nothing, and then I ran into an old timer one time, and he came up to me and he says, "Fish bass tournaments, you just have to go out and fish.
just have to go on.
You just have to fish. Fish your normal way. You do it." A buddy who had gotten me into it, had me into doing the tournaments and stuff. He used to tell me he would look at me, and shame was we don't talk anymore. But he used to tell he gave me some good advice one time, and ever since he gave me the advice, I never fished a bass tournament afterwards. But he always told me he's like, you need to go back to when we were kids and we used to go pond fishing. He goes, go back to your old school ways to fish your tournaments that way. Yes, you know damn well you can catch largemouth out of a pond. Catching them out of a pond, yeah, it's different out of a river, out of a lake. It's different because the depths are different. But at the end of the day, you, you fish the way you used to. So, like, when when I bought my kayak, I hadn't fished the Octorara Lake in over 25 years.
Really?
It was at least 25 years since I had been there. And I went out the one day and I said, you know what? I was out here. I used to fish with this crankbait. I used to fish with this. And I put that mentality in my head, like, we're just going to go out. So the one day I went out, and the first day I ever went out there, first time I kayak, went out, for 8 hours, I threw a freaking crankbait, a 4 bit. Okay. It's still the same. Back then we used a lot more live bait. So then I started changing up everything. And I'm like, you know what? Good. Well, then I ran into a gentleman on a boat. Hey man, how you doing? And after 5 weeks of going out, I was going out every Friday. It was like, I'm going to master this lake. I'm going to master. And he came up to me and he's like, you got anything black, blue flake, or black and purple flake? He goes, all you need in the lake. He goes, fish your crankbait to 7 o'clock in the morning after the first hour of light, take it off, rubber worm. And my numbers went from 4 to 5 up to 15, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like, yeah, it sucks because when you fish a rubber worm, it's so damn slow. Like, you're almost like you're bait fishing. That's why I like to throw, like, the wacky style because as my boat's going this way, I'll throw ahead of me so that I have a tight line. And
Pivot.
the slightest little tap of a tree or a bite, you feel it right away. And it's just, it literally changed how I did it. But like fishing tournaments, if I could give anybody any advice, and I have fished a shit ton of bass tournaments in my day, if you do it, you you have to go out with the mentality is like, for example, me and you are going out fishing today, Mike. We might be fishing a tournament. Well, enjoy yourself.
That's
You can't go out
that's
and
the key, man.
yeah, you have to go out. You have to be relaxed. You can't worry about the time. Hey, shit, if you're out there all damn day and you don't catch a fish, don't go to weigh it. Stay out for a little bit longer. Don't get your ass skunked.
I had a tournament the last May that I was out all morning, and I caught some medium it was a snakehead tournament. I caught some medium, it's nothing worth measuring. And I was like, you know what? I ain't winning, but I'm fishing, so that's okay too.
Yeah, no, I mean it's at the end of the day, I mean, like, my wife always sits there and tells me, I don't get why you're out there. I don't get, if you're not catching them, why the hell you stay out
It's
there?
called fishing.
Wait, but you know me, if I'm out there, I'm busy in my kayak. Camera's out, I'm chasing osprey, whatever. I'm out taking pictures. I mean, I'm also into the wildlife that's around. I'm into my surroundings, and I'm
Hmm.
really into. Me and you were on the after air last Friday. We're sitting out there. Me and you were just sitting out there all nice and quiet, just talking, and we heard the owl.
The way,
You
well,
don't
that's why we can fish together
right,
because
but
so many people get angry. I don't ever get angry
no,
because I'm fishing.
yeah, like if I go up
I
to the
mean,
Susquehanna and I catch nothing someday. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days you go out, you catch
we catch
nothing.
a lot of fish,
Yeah,
but
but when you go out there and you catch, it's I almost just get into. I mean, like, well, we live in Delaware. I don't know about everybody else. I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching stuff from Delaware, but Delaware sucks. The traffic sucks. But once you get out and you're just anywhere,
well,
we'll just use the Susquehanna. It's the most gorgeous country in the world to be in. You're out there, you're looking at the rock structures. Shit, I used to take a birding scope with me, and
I have one in my car
yeah,
right now.
I take so much shit when I go fishing, and I would take a birding scope and pack a tripod. If I wasn't catching nothing, post up on a rock and I'll look in the trees. I back in the day, like one of the dams where we fished it, not Conway, go a little bit up further. The eagles would be up there, and there was a nest real close by. I would just hook my birding scope up and watch the eagles. I mean, now it's funny because eagles were almost extinct, and now all of a sudden,
That's the DDT.
you literally go out, you see them like we drive down 896 in Delaware. As soon as you come over to Summit Bridge, there's a
There's a
huge
yeah.
ass eagle's nest right there. The other night I came down the road, no camera, two eagles sitting in the thing. I'm like, what
There's
the freak?
ospreys sitting right on the bridge, on the
Yep,
Summit Bridge.
yep. I mean, it's amazing. You get out there, you can enjoy yourself. I mean, again, it's fishing is just it's a thing. It's
So,
people do it. I just love it.
so we're out on a tangent here, but it's relevant because when you're not trying, when you're just in nature, that's when you're catching fish. It's when you get frustrated, you get angry, and that's when you're not, you, every time you go out, it's just, you got to look at it as a blessing, as
You're talking about movies. Sorry to interrupt you. Happy Gilmore. You gotta get to your happy
a
place.
happy place.
Go to your happy place. You're in your happy place now. Enjoy it.
So you don't, along the same movie, you're not like, it's your home. Sitting your home. You can't be that guy.
You gotta be happy. Get in your
You gotta
happy
be with
place.
the naked chick with the beer mugs. That's the happy place.
And why we're on the movies?
You,
Grumpy old men.
oh,
Classic, man. It's a classic.
every one of those movies.
One and two are fantastic. I mean, they're great movies. Yeah. Oh my God, man. Grumpy Old Men is great. Me and my one buddy who I used to fish with for years, he was, me and him, we were like, this is going to be us. And he's
So
no longer,
for you guys, I am
I'm the young
Walter Matthau,
guy.
and he's Jack Lemon because we are the odd couple. He's organized. He's got. I'm fly by the seat of my pants. I'll figure it out when I get there, and it works for us. I mean, we are different in many ways, but when we get on the water, we just yell.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
from the beginning, when we first started, I didn't know Ray, and we went out and we fished the whole evening. and I didn't catch shit first day, and he caught
Oh, a
one
couple.
snakehead.
Oh, this is a different time. Okay, yeah,
No, this was that first time,
yeah.
and it was still fine by me because I was on water.
But we didn't care. We were having fun out there.
And
We
ever since that day, we fished probably, besides like down winter time, at least once a week
yeah
together, because we know if I'm out there and he's out there, if I ain't catching fish or he ain't catching fish, we're still fishing, and that's a good thing.
yeah. I mean, like, hey, everybody everybody watches, and it's not on now. And if you watch it later and you're still watching it this time, you ever want to go out fishing with us? We love. We would love to go get a bunch of people together. I mean, we can go to a lake. Uh, we can do a big float down a creek.
That'd be
Um,
fun.
we can
A
just,
float down.
I mean, like just to get a bunch of people, and just go out and enjoy yourself. Be out there.
Oh, so like one of the things
I think we should
we book a fucking resort and we get all
get all our fish.
yeah.
I don't think they could handle us doing that.
I don't care.
Yeah,
But for real, like this is why I love fishing. It's because I don't have to catch any. Some people they go to a psychologist, therapist. I go out on the water. Some people go to church. I go out on the water. That's my church. That's my therapist. That's where I kind of get in touch with, if you will, the powers that be or whatever it is. But I'm just having fun. I love being on the water. I appreciate the beauty that's around me. And I, don't get me wrong, I love catching fish. The initial blow up, that's why I love top water. That initial blow up sometimes will scare the shit out of me because I'm not even expecting it.
yeah,
And it hits, and I'm like, oh, shit. But after that, and then the fight, and then the release. I don't keep. I'd say 99.5% of my fish I don't keep because let them grow, right?
yeah. Well, if I'm not going to eat them, I'm not going to keep them neither. But hey, got a comment from Sam. Says he has a bass tournament next week going to Sassafras on Wednesday. That's an odd day, Sam, for a bass
Really?
tournament. Um, but you're a commercial crabber. That's pretty cool.
Hey Sam,
Is
could I come out with you?
is crabbing a thing now already? Is it already starting? Are you starting to run already? I just think that's kind of early. Usually, I always think crab's like July, August, September. See if he
So
answers.
Sam, we got to talk because I'm putting a trout line. I'm rigging up a trout line thing for my. I have an autopilot 136, and I'm gonna rig up a trout line. I have a John boat too, motor, but I want to do it off my kayak. But anyway, I want to learn some of that. So you and I need to talk, and I'll come out free labor for real. I'm not even kidding. For real. That's my school.
For real, for real,
For,
for real, for real. Yeah, I don't think you would ever say that. Jay. I don't see you saying
no,
that.
but some of mine.
Oh yeah, you want to splash, man?
I need a little bit of
This
splash.
is actually really good. This bourbon tonight. So we got sick of drinking beers, so we went to bourbon just during the show, But
I, I,
this is good.
well, you guys had a later night last week. Ray and John hung out for a little
Yeah,
bit.
we hung out afterwards for a little while.
So sure, I leave here. My production crew are teenagers and they have school, and I'm a teacher that teaches my production.
We were
So
supposed to go fishing at 6 o'clock in the morning last Friday, and you didn't make it. You left earlier. We were probably still up at the same time now. I think we were still awake at the same time. But anyway, yeah, it's all good.
well, I get after the show, I get a. This show gives me a rush, if you will, because I love doing this show. I love actually. Let me bring this in on what we're talking about because we're going to have to wrap it up in 15 minutes and want to get to our promo stuff. But I will say this. I love doing it. When Ray and I started, this wasn't about making money. It wasn't about anything else besides the fact that I call Ray, and Ray calls me. We're on the phone for an hour and a half talking fishing, not even trying.
Yeah.
So when he approached me with this idea, I was like, this sounds kind of easy because we do it anyway.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, this is like tonight,
This is like us having a phone conversation.
honestly,
It really is like one of our phone conversations
so
tonight.
you'll see we bounce around a
But we're
little bit,
doing show and tell. We don't do that on the phone. We send pictures while we're talking. Here, check out the thing I just sent you in a picture.
but we're doing what we yeah. And we also said in the beginning, if it's not fun, we're not gonna do it. So just remember that for people that are tournament fishermen and stuff like that, if it's not fun, why do it?
Yeah,
And
why do it?
for real, like if you need to catch something every time, then you're not in the right game because there's going to be times that you skunk, and if that makes you, when I come home from fishing, every single time even if I skunked, when we went out on Friday, I came home, I looked back on it, and I was like, I had a great morning. I got to hang out with my friend. I got to see some beautiful scenery. I got to test out my kayak on almost white caps because we had some freaking serious wind.
Oh, that was so windy.
I even offered to tie him in. I gotta say, because I have the autopilot, I got the motor. So coming back, I had my hood down, my glasses, my gator up, and I had my remote in my little pocket right here. And I tucked right in, and I looked back, and he's right behind me, pedaling his ass off.
I like the exercise though. I mean, the exercise is nice.
No, I know.
I survived. I got through it. I got a wet ass, but
No, you.
I got pretty wet.
We got to the other side. You wanted to go to the rocks and fish that bank? Yeah. You were right behind me. We're and there when we were going up the lake, there was there was waves that were splashing
Oh yeah.
over my bow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So we were good.
I had water down in my boots.
By the way, shout out to Old Town.
Yeah.
Those freaking things,
They're amazing on the water,
waters.
dude. They are amazing on the water. Old Town kayaks, really good. Um, really, really good.
Fine. Yesterday, in some of the shallow stuff, I yanked up the motor and I had to paddle. You all have to paddle 13.5 foot kayak. It handles like paddling a barge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You, it's really easy when I got the motor working and the rudder down. But when you're in heavy stuff, it's you need the turning radius. You're moving forward is like 200 yards. It's like yeah, it's it's a little rough.
Yeah. A little rough. Hey Brian, you finally made it. That's good, man. The guy's house I'm working at right now. He's got him to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so he just commented. He finally made it. I had to text him to say, "Where are you
Ryan, you really trust this guy?
at?" Yeah, I've known Brian a long time.
I'm sorry.
He's actually manager at the grocery store.
I'm sorry.
He's known me a long time. He's known me longer than you. He knows I'm a better guy. You know, you don't know the better side of me. Oh, the peanut gallery is back over there. But hey, Brian, this is what I was talking about. Check out the glass. This is just the glasses. I don't know if you can see that.
We need gone fishing glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to go on fishing. Well, this is okay. This has my name on it, so this is good.
Doesn't have my name.
Well, that's all right. Well, you're drinking out of my glass. I mean, so
I'm
you can't
drinking
take
your
my glass.
whiskey too, so
Yeah, you're
I'm.
drinking my bourbon and all. We're good.
But still want. I want one that says Mazman or Mike or
So
Mazola.
I'll get you a glass and get my wife to do one of the stickers on it and put your name on. You'll have your own glass.
And we need gone fishing
We
glasses.
do need gone fishing glasses. So we're on here going fishing. Bourbon with fishing. That's bad. That's a
Oh,
dangerous mix.
yeah, it is. That's why we don't do it.
That's why we just drink beer when we're out there instead. You know, beer's just
Actually,
better.
usually you and I don't drink beer. We might do other stuff,
Yeah.
but we don't drink beer because that just slows it.
Now Greg's not on here tonight, but Greg will tell you we go fishing. We do like the all day trip. We leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, like late fall, or even during the summer. We go up to the Susquehanna fishing. As soon as we hit the Maryland line, there's a liquor store. We pop in there. Started off with just buying 124 ounce each and going out with that. Then it went to a 6 pack. I think the last time we went, we bought a 12 pack. So from Rising Sun, Maryland to Newark, Delaware, we're putting some beers down. But it's always good when you have a good fishing day because the beers seem to taste better.
They do. But I gotta tell you, like one of my favorite fishing days last summer with you guys, we fished hard all morning off Perry.
Yeah,
Perry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we went to lunch and
We had a
I
couple
mean,
beers.
we were there at 6 o'clock. We were up there at sunup and we fished all morning. I got sunburnt as hell. And then we went and just hung out and had a great lunch. And then we just went to one of our local ponds. We bought a 12 pack, threw it in the cooler, and the three of us went around. That's where, that's the shit I'm into. We were done real fishing.
Yeah.
Now we're going to screw around locally and still catch fish. Don't get me wrong. But I don't necessarily like the fishing, drinking and fishing all day, only because I feel it affects.
Oh, I start drinking. I
Then
just
you,
start to relax on the kayak and the feet come up and the shirt comes off and the
but
Crocs or
then
whatever
you
the hell you look. And then you just sit there and just chill, man. I can't. I don't like to drink until I'm done fishing.
and then you gotta pee.
Oh, I just stand up and pee over the kayaks. That's easy.
I know, but then you stand a chance of.
Every time, and then every time you break the seal, then it's every 5 minutes. Oh, man, I'm heading to the weeds real quick.
Yeah, don't need to be showing.
Hey, Sam, it's actually here. Actually, I'll type it in the comments for you. Yeah, he asked about the YouTube. I just. Oh, okay. Yeah, Sam. I don't know if you just heard her peanut gallery tonight. He says it's it's either in the chat or it's on the Facebook page. Yeah, but I'll send it to you through the comments also, bud.
So just so we don't run out of time, I need to put this on. Um,
What's up, Jay?
we need you guys to join our YouTube channel. We love doing this, but we want subscribers. We need to funnel everything into mostly because we need the views. Well, what he said. We didn't come into this looking to make a ton of money, but we've invested a bunch of money in it as far as cameras, microphones, laptops. So
I think we got into this for like I think like right
we
now,
we got into this for fun,
right? Like we got into it for fun, and then
but then
started getting good, and then we started discussing different ways. So like last week, having John Coverly on, fantastic. Casting nasty baits, fantastic. It was great. Hopefully, we'll have some other further people coming up.
I
But
just
like,
talked to Jesse.
yeah, like we're talking about doing bait shops. So we are going to go to some bait shops and do some live shows from some bait shops too. So I think That's kind of exciting too. That's why another reason why we want to have more. We're into this really to go into
Have
bait shop.
fun.
Yeah, have fun. Go to bait shops, but we want people to share it, do whatever. Try to get us some people on here. The more people we have, the better. But at the same time, if you have a bait shop you go to and it's a mom and pop bait shop, it's you know they maybe only have like 1,000 people that follow their Facebook. They're the kind of places we want to go.
We're not
We want to try to help them generate more business.
nothing
And at the
against
same,
Cabela's or anything.
yeah, but
We're
no,
just
it's
saying, look, we want to help out people that help us out, and we also just want,
once we get Cabela's
especially
to sponsor us, then we could talk Cabela's. That's what we could talk. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we need.
we're trying to make this not profitable, but more. Well, we want to reach a bigger audience, and we want. My wife wants
Yeah.
so that, which means that you guys all need to subscribe to YouTube so that I don't get in trouble. How about with the? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So go on YouTube at Fishin
Really,
302.
without the G.
Yes, not fishing, Fishin
Fishing.
302. We are on Facebook, obviously. Most of you are watching on Facebook. All you Facebook people, get your ass on YouTube. Even if you're going to watch it on Facebook, get your ass on YouTube.
Just subscribe to it.
Yep. And
Subscribe.
we do have TikTok and Instagram, but we need you to get your asses on YouTube. Help us out. And I'm not being one of those smash this and subscribe this, or a centipede is going to walk all over your face when
It
you
doesn't,
sleep.
and it doesn't cost you no money. So it's not like it's
But
just
I hate to
subscribe.
do these promo things. But I'm
Yeah.
just, it
No, I get it.
I don't want to do this, but I'm just trying to.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we had a big jump on Facebook last week. About 40 new members. Actually, I think 50 new members. 50 new members since John Coverly was on. So a lot of credit to John Coverly because a lot of them are his friends and people.
But y'all tell your friends, for real.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell anybody you know's fishing.
I'm awesome and Ray's kind of good, so
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. I'm the fishing expert.
And
I'm training Mike. He's my trainee.
he's a fishing expert. I'm charming and handsome. So we got that both going.
Yeah, I can talk shit with fishing, and he's charming. There you go.
Okay, guys, we're about there. Um, check out our chats because we want you guys to show some pictures. We are getting into the season. Show us what you caught, man.
Yeah, we want
For
to see what you
real.
caught.
I need to see what you guys caught. I'm gonna start posting stuff. Ray's gonna start posting stuff. I don't want it to be all us posting shit. I need to see what you guys caught. Where you don't have to give up your spots, but I need to see where general, pond, lake, ocean, and maybe whatever else you want. Whatever.
Yeah, I guess if you want to share. Is Janet your mom?
That's my stepmom. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Janet.
Hey Janet, I didn't know you were on. I'm not looking at the chats, but yeah.
I'm watching the chat, so I got everything. I'm watching them. Good.
Michael, are you watching the chats? We need to take your phone away?
He's doing a great job.
No.
He's doing a fantastic,
Great job.
fantastic. He gets an A for tonight.
Okay, y'all. About that time, I gotta say one thing. Ray, where are we going?
We are woo going fishing, baby. Peace out. Goes off. I'm gonna say